Hi, this is Anna with Graphic Design How To, and today I'm going to go over whether or not you can go into debt with an Etsy shop, and if you can, how to keep that from happening. I also wanted to mention, if you're into graphic design, I also have full courses out on Skillshare, and you can take a look at those in the description below. All right, let's get started. So yes, there are a few ways to go into debt with an Etsy shop, and one of them is by listing a ton of items and not making any sales. And this is when you first open your shop. Listings cost 20 cents each. So let's say you listed 40 items and they sat there for a few months. They actually last for 4 months, I think, and then they expire. But let's say you never made a single sale. So that $8, the 40 times the 20-cent listing fee, would be charged to your credit card on the account. So yes, it's only $8, but it is a debt. But if you're a brand new shop owner, you can get 40 free listings for your shop with the referral link that's in the description below. And when you do that, I also get 40 free listings, so it's kind of a win-win situation. That's a really good way to start a new shop because you'll be able to list your first 40 products for free and they don't expire, but if you close your shop, then you do lose those listings. Now let's say you've had a shop before and you aren't able to use the referral link because of that. Usually people don't go crazy at first. They'll list a few items and then have a sale, and when that happens, those listing fees are taken out of the sale price, so they don't ever owe anything to Etsy. Then they list a few more items, and that sale that they had covers those new listing fees too. And then they get a few more sales, and they never end up owing a credit card or anything like that. So it's a good thing to start small and just build from there. I personally have never had a debt with Etsy. Because I was able to sell a few things in my first month, even though I didn't know about the 40 free listings, so I missed out on that. But I was able to sell a couple things, and my proceeds covered my listing fees and the other fees that Etsy charges. If you have a negative balance in your account, even after a couple sales, that means that the Etsy fees are eating up your sales. Etsy fees are paid as you go from your sales balance, but if your sales price is too low and not enough to cover those fees, you're going to have a negative balance that you have to pay off at the end of the month. Now, I have another video about fees, and that video will be right up here at the top of your screen if you want to check it out. If you're doing promoted listings or email marketing, or you're using Etsy shipping labels, those could be things that are eating up a lot of the sales that you're making. Now, those things aren't necessarily bad. In fact, I've heard the shipping labels are a good deal for Etsy sellers. But you might want to just go in and take a look at how much those things are costing you. For promoted listings, go to your shop manager, then marketing, and then Etsy ads. And then you'll want to choose manage your budget. So here's where you can see how much you're spending every day on Etsy ads. I'll cancel that. If you want to turn them off completely, you can come right over here to other options and choose turn off ads, and then just click this button here. To see what's happening as far as fees goes, come down here to finances and then choose monthly statements. Once you get here, scroll down, you can see a description of your fee and each fee that came out of that sale price. You can also generate a CSV spreadsheet of all of your fees too. Now, another thing that might cause you to go into debt is not pricing your items high enough. And this wouldn't really be an Etsy thing. Let's say you wanted to make TV stands. So you head out to Home Depot and you buy some wood, you get some resin, and you create your TV stand, and you pay $50 for all the supplies. And you put that on a credit card. Then you start your Etsy shop and you list your TV stand for $25. Even if you sell that, you haven't actually made enough to cover any of your expenses. So just make sure that your expenses and your labor costs are factored into what you charge for that item. All right, if you like this video and you want to see more videos like this, just hit the subscribe button and the little bell next to it, and you'll be notified every time a new video comes out. All right, I'll see you in the next video.